Episode 12 starts with Frank being questioned by Dinah. She wants to know about the events in Kandahar. Frank names all the people involved, like Rollins and Russo, which makes things worse for them. Frank and Micro are waiting at the docks for the exchange to get Micro's family back. Frank promises to protect Micro's wife and son. A red van arrives, and Sarah and Zach are brought out, unharmed but with gas cans tied to their backs. Russo calls Frank and tells him to follow the plan. Frank tells Micro to stay calm and stick to the plan as Sarah and Zach walk towards them in shock. Dinah manages to get Sarah and Zach to safety. Russo, watching from a distance, orders his men to get Frank and Micro. When they try to grab Micro, Dinah's team shoots him. Russo shoots the tires of Dinah's cars and escapes. Frank is in a dark room, wearing his Marine uniform, dreaming of dancing with his dead wife, Maria. He wakes up, strapped to a chair at the hideout, with Russo in front of him. Russo tries to get information from Frank, but Frank refuses to cooperate. Russo tells him he has no choice but to die, and that Micro is dead, eliminated by Homeland. Meanwhile, Micro is revealed to be alive, and emerges from a body bag. He reunites with his family, who are overjoyed but still shocked by his fake death. Back at the hideout, Russo demands the passwords from Frank, but Frank refuses. Rollins then enters, threatening to make things worse. He begins to beat Frank, but Frank takes it without reacting, retreating into thoughts of his wife, Maria, to endure the pain. Micro explains to Sarah why he faked his death. Sarah asks about Frank, and Micro hopes Frank will eliminate the men who took him. Dinah enters, saying Frank is probably being tortured, and they cannot help because they do not know where he is. Frank is badly beaten, but still awake. Frank acts weak when Russo takes him to the computer. He has a hidden knife with him. He types in the code and performs the scan, and when Rollins approaches, Frank stabs him in the chest. Russo stops Frank, but Rollins kicks him back into unconsciousness. Micro breaks protocol and hacks into Dinah's computer to show her a live feed of Frank being tortured. He begs Dinah to save him. Back at the hideout, Rollins continues beating Frank. Russo steps in, and they argue about who is responsible for the deaths of Homeland agents. Russo gets angry and pulls a gun on Frank, but Rollins stops him and orders him to step away. Frank breaks free, fights Rollins, and eliminates him in a brutal way. He stabs Rollins multiple times and gouges his eyes out. Russo watches, enjoying the violence. Frank, in pain, tells Russo that he has lost everything. Just then, Homeland agents storm in, and Micro and Dinah rush in with them. Micro tells Frank to stay with him. Frank is in intense pain, his eyes wide open, and in his dream, he realizes Maria is no longer there.